Frank Lucas in the building.
All right. Woo! We are back. It's been a while. Gentlemen. Welcome to the show. My name is Brian, aka Uncle B. You may know me from YouTube doing about a good 300 videos, letting guys know how to get the best out of their sexual health. We have some important topics to talk about this evening. Number one being sleep. Glad to have you on board right now. If you could, go ahead, hit the comment section. Let me know where you are, where you calling in from, what your name is. We got Dallas, Texas in the house. Best Choice Janitorial. What's going on, man? What's going on, nephew? Money Making Marvin. I like that. South Carolina in the house. Yeah. We're doing something just a little bit different. We're actually, we're looking to get guys to hop on and talk with me about the issues. I've been doing coaching for a long time. And every time there's always a new situation, a new way of looking at things. And, that's what we need to talk about. That's how we learn. That's how I learn. Because every time I have a conversation, it's amazing the things that I just don't think about, the different angles you have to look at things through. It's a great thing. Byron, what's going on, sir? Yes, indeed. Riley in the house, AK. Okay. What's going on with you, brother? And New Orleans in the house, Louisiana, Sir Miguel, Riverdale, Riverside. I don't want to say that wrong. Riverside, California, in the house. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about something that affects a lot of guys. And that's just basic sleep. When we're talking about sleep, it can run into a bunch of different issues because you have guys who work in a night shift. You got the new baby running around. You got, you just got stress. You got, just different situations, things that you never think about that affects your sleep. And whenever I do coaching, the process that we normally go through, you fill out a quiz. In fact, I'll make sure we have the link in the description in the comment section. But yeah, you can actually, book a session with me. And the process is that you fill out a survey. We go through that survey so I can, quickly assess where you are. We talk about the sexual performance scale. That's a scale of 1 to 10. 10 means everything works. A 5 means you're unreliable. A lot of guys I talk to are in that 5, 6, 7 range, that unreliable range. And if you're at a 1, 2, or 3, 4, or 5, you have 1, 2, 3, or 4. You have various ranges of ED. I've talked to guys who haven't had erections in 15 years, 20 years. We've had erection issues for 10 years. And a lot of that is avoidable. And that's the thing that we need to talk about. What's going on, Daryl? Victory in the house. I like that. Donald Knight, Jamaica. All right. Love it. So yeah, whenever we're talking about sleep, it is a erection destroyer if you're not getting the right amount of sleep. And there are a lot of things that you need to understand about this entire process. And one of the things that's really necessary for you to understand is that you need to take this extremely seriously, because when it comes to not getting the right amount of sleep, it's actually a carcinogenic. Basically, your cancer cells go up. If you're just getting 4 hours of sleep, your cancer cells are going up, your immune system is going down. that's the way this works. There's some people who don't require as much sleep as other people. I'm one of those people. If I get 5.5 hours, I just wake up. I don't know what it is. But I've had to do some things to make sure that I get the quality sleep that's necessary. People, we're talking about billions of people on this planet. Everyone's going to be slightly different, but the thing is to understand what's affecting you. So you could be in a situation where you're saying that, hey, my erections are not good, but I Netflix and chill every night. And all you have to do is just change that. There's some other things that need to change, but we want to make sure that you have all the information. And that's what we're going to go through tonight. Uh huh. Hmm. This is a great question. And I want everybody to make sure, please go ahead, hit the comment section, hit me with your questions. Because you never know. Yeah, any question, it's only the unasked question that's the stupid question. So J10H Unk, can having your nose blocked by sinuses and end up mouth breathing during sleep, can that affect your wood? Absolutely. That's almost akin to having sleep apnea, where you're having problems breathing while you're sleeping, and that can lead to a lot of different issues. You don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke at all. I'm guaranteeing you that. Yes, sir. You right. You don't want that smoke because you're going to end up um, in a situation where there's sleep apnea machines. There's you could actually, there are people who pass because they get to a point where you're not breathing and you're not getting oxygen to your brain. So if you're not getting oxygen to your brain is least concerned about whether or not you're going to have an erection. So you want to make sure that that is taken care of at all times. So um, great question. Thank you very much for that. Best choice janitorial. Man, rep that business, sir. Can you reverse ED? Urologist wants me to do the surgery. Ooh, Lord. Oh, we gotta talk about that. The pump didn't give me a natural alternative. Wow, he's not messing up his paycheck. Uh, I mean, that's one of the unfortunate things about the medical industry. Someone said this. I think it's Tony Robbins when he had an issue with his health and he sought a person who gave him a natural answer. And the person told him, if you go to a surgeon, they're going to want to cut. You go to a pharmacist, they want to give you a pill. If you go to a doctor, they want to give you a pill. So you need to understand that these people have, not necessarily bad people, but that's their training. That's what they know how to do. So are there natural alternatives? There are a ton of them. There are a ton of them. Around here, around these parts, we call it ECS 25. It means energy, sleep, exercise, intermittent fasting, and soul. And what that is just a formulation of the things that work. If you're able to dial in these 5 different areas, and we actually have a program where you actually score yourself in these 5 different areas, then you're actually day by day going to be able to get better. What ends up happening, and you notice I have sleep in there. What ends up happening is that people will be, they'll do like 3 of those 5 things and think that they're good. It's like, yeah, I exercise all the time, and I do the intermittent fasting, and I've been lowering my stress. I should be good. But your sleep is horrendous because you're eating pizza right before bedtime. And these things aren't a good combination. So you're going to end up in a bad situation. Um, so what I would say, just straight off, we obviously I have on my YouTube channel, Brian Ayers 23. You can go ahead and look on there, and it's going to basically break down, all the information that you need to know. It's spread out across 300 videos. So that's the reason why we do have the ECS 25 course, where I took all that information, condensed it down to 7 videos, 7 courses of videos, just 7 different sections. Actually, the way that we're offering it right now, if you go to givegoodwood.com, you can order it. You can actually, you get our subscription package, which is you get a bottle of good wood, or all natural liquid aphrodisiac, every month, and the course comes free with it, because we feel like if you're investing into our product, we want to give you the best answers possible so you can actually stop using our product. Who do you hear say that? Not too many doctors. They're not doing that. They're saying stay with us forever give us the money forever. That's not a good look. Um, yeah. Um, let's see. Got another question here from Donald Knight. Donald asks, on the topic of sleep, what's my most and least? What's the most and least sleep a man is to get? All right, let me address that directly because that's a good question. That's actually an excellent question because there are a couple of answers to that. If you're LeBron James, if you're a Venus Williams, if you're a professional athlete at the top of your game, that you can go to 10 hours. And that's because of the level of stress that you're putting on your body. Your body needs that time to recover. You're wearing out your testosterone, your human growth hormone. You're just wearing out your body, period. So it needs that level of rest. If you're a civilian, if you're a person who just you get your exercise in, but there's more that you need to do in your life, then yeah, you need to do a good 8 hours of sleep. We're talking about 7 to 8 hours of sleep. There are different ways to measure that. Obviously, they have the different watches. I actually have a mattress cover that not only does it cool the bed so I can get better sleep, but it also measures your sleep. So I'm laying on it, so it knows exactly what I'm doing and gives all types of reading and everything. But you can just go and use your smartwatch and just measure your sleep and see what you're doing. Um, because once again, if you're getting below 5 hours of sleep, if you're getting like 4 hours of sleep, you're actually doing a lot of damage to yourself. And let me break down what that damage is. Aside from your cancer cells going up and your immune system going down, you're actually losing control. Think about it. I always say this, we're adults, but we're just like babies. It's just that no one can tell us what to do anymore. So imagine yourself, or just imagine a 2-year-old that doesn't get enough sleep. They are cranky the next day. They're out of control. They just can't, function correctly. And why is that? Well, one of the reasons is because your brain hasn't had enough time to reset itself. That's the first thing. In terms of your eating habits, your ghrelin levels go up. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone. I call them gremlins. That whole feeling like the day before you got your good sleep and your diet was all good. And then the next day, for whatever reason, you didn't get good sleep, and it's calling for you. The Twinkies is calling for you. The pizza's calling for you. That is because your ghrelin levels have gone up, and that is under control while you're sleeping. It also flows into other areas. We're talking about your brain in terms of how you think the next day. I mean, they've proven this. If you're taking a test, you can, with bad sleep, you're automatically dropping like a good 30 points. So if you're taking a test for a job, school, whatever you're taking a test for, and you get bad sleep the night before, it's almost like a guarantee, especially if it's a hard subject or whatever, that you're going to score a good, instead of getting that 100, you're getting a 70. Instead of getting that 80, eh, you're failing. So those are the type of things that can happen when you are not taking care of your sleep. So let's see, whatever questions. Let's say how much sleep. I recommend 7 to 8 hours. That's the big thing to do, is to get that 7 to 8 hours in. Uh, Let me see. Sir Miguel, what's going on? I have been working on making my last meal 3 hours before I go to bed, which is 7 p.m. That is great. That is a wonderful thing, especially for us guys who are trying to, continue on the weight loss journey. This is what happens. If you're eating within 3 hours of going to sleep, then your body, your glucose levels goes up. So basically, what happens while you're sleeping, your metabolism resets itself and starts going up. Your digestion is going. If you're trying to digest food while sleeping, your body's not able to metabolize it. It has to get rid of all the stuff that you just ate. So you'll often see guys who, they'll work out, to do all the right things, and then right before they go to sleep, I don't know, they'll take a pre-workout or a post-workout shake or something like that, and they just do that, just blew up the whole system. What you want to do, just go with water, go with tea, before you go to sleep. I have a sleepy time tea that I drink. It helps. But I'll go into all the rituals that we can have in a second. hmm But yeah, sir, that is a wonderful idea. Keep going that. Mm, just in sports, I'm scared to hear this. Been sleeping 5-ish hours a few years now. Woo. I understand. I understand. I've been on that lane. It's sort of scary when you don't have the right information. You just think, you're just going along. Um, a client that I was coaching, he was a male nurse, and so he was working the night shift. On the night shift, my singing is horrible, but he was working on the night shift, and he's 28, couldn't understand why he was starting to have issues. And yeah, there's a reason why he was starting to have issues, because he was working at night shift. And when you're working the night shift, um, a lot of things can happen. There needs to be an actual ritual that you go through in order for all of that to happen. In fact, let me go ahead. Let's just talk about it. Let me be about it. I'm gonna just show you, and this is one of the main things for this show, and the way we're going to do it from now on is really go into the coaching side of things. So uh, once again, please leave your information, your comments, questions in the comment section, and I will do my best to get to each and every one of you. And if you're just joining us, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and for the last 23 years, I've been the men's performance coach with Goodwood, the all-natural liquid aphrodisiac that will increase your testosterone and blood flow to your genital regions so you have stronger erections. Used over time, it can help you get to better erections, move you up the sexual performance scale, help you get over erectile dysfunction, and it's great for guys who just want to increase their overall sports stamina, premature ejaculation issues, etc. So, all of that to say that right now, I'm just going to go ahead and play a video right quick where we go ahead and talk about sleep. All that up to on the sexual performance scale, he's saying he's at a 6. That's what that comes down to. So, how are you doing today, sir? Glad to have you on. Is there anything that I missed?
Nah, you hit everything on the head.
Okay. All right. So, is there anything in particular you want to start off talking about?
Um,
Any
prob-
particular issue that you want to get taken care of?
Probably holding the erection.
Okay. So basically, you're unreliable. Erection comes, erection goes, type of thing.
Yeah, it's like it's a like sometimes I'm good, but then
Mm-hmm.
it's like sometimes it's a miss or it may just die down out of nowhere.
Okay. Okay. Got you. Got you. Yeah, that is definitely a 6. Okay. So one of the first things I noticed is, of course, you're working the night shift. Um, I did a video talking about that. Did you happen to catch that video on the night shift work?
Yeah, that's what made me take the quiz and everything and hit you up.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, for those who do not know, when we're talking about night shift work, basically there's like you have to coordinate the way that you function while you're at work overnight so that you're actually getting good quality sleep. Because of course, when you sleep, that's when your testosterone forms, and the bursting and burning of testosterone is what fuels an erection. So, um, how have you started doing any of those rituals in terms of, do you have the blue light blockers? Do you have you been blacking out of your room, getting your sleep schedule together? Where are you on that?
I'm just finding out about the blue light blockers,
Mm-hmm.
and usually when I sleep, I mean I can't sleep in light anyway unless I'm like dead tired, but
Mm-hmm.
I usually have to black the room out or like put some kind of shade over my eyes just for me to fall asleep and get a good sleep.
Got you. Yeah. 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 That makes sense. Yeah, just wanted to hop in right quick and just talk about that piece right there. The video that he was talking about, I was going deep into the number one erection destroyer being sleep, and how when you are working the night shift, there are several things that you need to really pay attention to, that you need to hone in on, because what had supposed to happen was what is supposed to happen is that you know the earth gets cooler, the sun goes down, earth gets cooler, and so basically the lights are off, and you just lay down and you go to sleep. Because of technology and everything, of course we're able to work the night shift, we're able to stay up late, whether that's working the night shifts or just goofing off, just looking at movies or whatever. But the issue still comes down to you're not getting good sleep. And so if you're working a night shift with this gentleman, is getting off at 7 o'clock. And so that's really not a great time. And because basically you're getting off of work, preparing to go to bed while the sun is coming up, while the earth is getting warmer. With all that said, what's going to happen? Well, your body is going to be in total confusion. I'm tired, but I'm supposed to be awake. It's what did Cat Williams call that? Zambuki. That's coffee with vodka in it. That's where you toe up, you're ready to go to sleep, and you wake up. The next is it's that confusing to your body. So, what is supposed to happen? Well, you, sir, are supposed to do a number of things. One, if you can, when you work a night shift, go ahead and take a nap. So just a quick nap. Don't get fired. Just a quick nap, 15 minutes, just so your body can sort of acclimate. Number two, when you're leaving, and this is the most important part, when you're leaving from work, you want to have the blue light blockers on. Basically, blue light blockers actually stop the sun, or even lights like I have here, from getting to your eyes and saying that, hey, it's time to wake up, instead of recognizing that it's time to go to sleep. The other thing that you have to look at is the fact that when you're driving, if you're driving, you want your car to be cooler. If your car is cooler, like the earth is cooler, you're going to be able, your body's like, oh, okay, it's time to go to sleep. And also, you want to have your skin covered. And the reason for that is because sunlight just touching your skin will let your body know, like, hey, it's time to wake up. I mean, think of a blind person. They don't know what time they can't see, but if that the sun is touching your skin, it's letting you know that it's time to wake up. So those are the things that you really have to pay attention to. And for my guys who are like, I don't work the night shift, this is just good information to know, because if you're dealing with a pregnancy, you got a new child born, something like that, there are all types of situations where you could at some point not get good sleep. So you want to pay attention to that. Let me just check over here in the comment section right quick. Yep. All right. Moneymaker Marvin says, no meat since beginning. That New Year's resolution is working for you. All right. I like that. No meat since January 1st, 2023. Went to a vegan lifestyle. I've heard that if your urine has bubbles in it, you still have meat protein in your body. What can I take to get the animal protein out of my body? Okay. Actually, I would say from that time, the meat protein is out of your body. What you're experiencing right there is from the vegan food. Um, the one thing about vegan food is that it's still processed food. Our bodies are designed to take in plants. Fiber is the best for our intestines, and just working out, everything like that. If you're eating vegan food and it's highly processed, you're still going to run into some problems. Especially, we got the new meats, the impossible meats and things like that. I love it. It's great. It's a great substitute. I always say that vegan food is a transition food, so it's better than the animal based food, but it still has its own issues, especially with those type of foods that mimic um, the meat, because they use a lot of oil in it. And so that oil is in your body, and that's what's causing those extra bubbles to come up. Um, and yeah, once you get away from that, because I experienced that myself, because I'm basically a good 80% plant-based. But I'll go ahead and I'm known for my chili with the impossible meat. I do the burgers and things like that when I'm out at different restaurants and stuff like that. And so you get the bubbles in your urine. And you also just want to look at what else that you're consuming, because sometimes you could have something that's you're consuming that you're not aware of. So a lot of times it's a good idea to just back away from food, and when you're reintroducing it to your body, to pay attention to what is happening. Okay. Great question. Got any more questions, go ahead, hit me up in the comment section. And let's see, I do want to once again make sure that I'm putting it into the comment section right now. South Carolina in the house. What's going on, man? Making. Um, if you want to get on with me live right now, just to ask questions, you do not have to cam up. You can just let me see. We got some comments here. You can We'll just talk. We'll just talk, and that's the most important thing because there's a lot of things that people aren't aware of. What I do want to give you right quick is just a look at what we have right here. Let me go ahead and mhm, yep. What we have right here. This is, I just wanted to go through. Uh, this is something that we have with our program ECS 25. ECS 25, once again, exercise, sleep. I'm sorry, energy, sleep, exercise, intermittent fasting, and Soul 25. It's a scoring system that we have. But what comes with it is a checklist. This is something that you could print out, put up on your your mirror in the bedrooms, wherever it makes most sense for you. But the checklist basically goes through talking about the things that you need to look at. One of the big things is to make sure you do go to sleep at the same time every night. For me, it used to be 10:30. I moved it up to 10 o'clock so I can get up at 6 o'clock and get my workout on and everything like that. One thing that you can do is to do a light stretch, get some light stretching in, because you're going to be sleeping. You're going to be in the same position for possibly hours at a time. So you want to make sure that you're not cramping up in the middle of the night. Always talking about wearing the sleep mask. The sleep mask is really important from the standpoint that, if you have light, when people talk about your third eye, they're talking about pineal gland, which is a gland right there in between your eyes. That's the reason why people have the little dot there and everything like that. That is, long story, is not actually the third eye, but we'll get into that later on. But basically, what ends up happening is that when you're, just like if you close your eyes right now, the light is still coming through. That is being sensed by your pineal gland, and it is basically saying, "Hey, it's still light outside. There's no need to go to sleep. What are we going to sleep for?" So that's the reason why you want to have the sleep mask on. Um, One really important thing to do is to make sure that you have your electronics off 1 to 3 hours before bed. The more time you give yourself a break from that, the better. If you have to have it on for whatever reason, of course, they have the blue light blocker app on your phone. I think it comes pre-installed with all the phones nowadays. So you want to make sure you have that. Um, and one great thing to do is take a warm shower. If you're taking a warm shower before you go to sleep, your body will actually be cooler. It's like the warm water is bringing all the heat to your skin, and so your internal body is cooler, and that's really important for being able to get good sleep. And one of the big things is being consistent. So you do want to track your sleep patterns. One thing that people tend to do is not think about what happens over the weekend. It's like I remember growing up, it was like, just with my own parents, my family, it was like, oh, it's Friday. And so, we would, it would be like a pizza, be like some Popeyes chicken, all types of crap we was eating. But it's, people don't pay attention to that time. It could be, you're actually, uh, um, something could be going on. Maybe it's even a TV show you just gotta watch or whatever it is, and it's affecting your sleep. So once you understand the patterns, you can start sort of backtracking and see, oh, what is it that's causing me to have bad sleep? Um, of course, you do want to reduce all noise. That's really important. And one of the things that people never think about, especially my dog owners out there, I feel you. You love your dogs, but you got your dogs in your room. And dogs are dogs. The dogs. They don't pay attention to your sleep pattern or anybody's sleep pattern. They just sleep whenever they want to or stay awake whenever they want to. So they'll, come on, hop on the bed and just move you around. And you may be just waking up and not even realizing it. If you're dealing with a partner, she's coming in the room late at night or something like that, just let them know. It's like, hey, this is for my health. I need to have this full sleep in order for me to function properly. So you want to make sure you have all of that, and have the temperature set to 68 degrees. All of these things add up to, you know, um, what you need to have happen in order for your body to adjust and to function properly. So this is really important. Mr. Vinny 007, thank you for all you do. Hey, I appreciate you, sir. Should get a call-in number. We're going to work on that. I like that. I like that idea. Money maker tomorrow. Appreciate y'all. Now I got to get the exercise in. Yeah, you do need to get that exercise. Hold on a second. I need to refresh my electrolytes. Yeah. So let's go ahead and dive even deeper into the sleep area of things, because there's some things um, that we don't really pay attention to. One of those things is our circadian rhythm. So when you all throughout the day, you can set up your sleep. And this is really important because a lot of guys will do a lot of work. They're like, I'm gonna take the herbs, I'm gonna get my exercise in, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, not understanding that all of that is energy potential. Let me repeat that. Energy potential is not the actual energy that you're gonna when you exercise that day, it's not gonna show up until the next day. It's not gonna show up until you get to sleep to maximize it. We talk about exponential energy, and that's where it comes from. It's like, well, okay, I'm going to get my exercise in the proper level of exercise, don't overtrain and everything like that. When you get the proper level of exercise in, everything is working, and then you do something strange like not get a good sleep, it's sort of useless. It's like you're actually stressing your body at that point. A lot of times guys will train, they'll train, they do the hit exercises, everything like that, and they don't get enough rest. Rest is a huge part of the equation. That's the reason why people can't, get to the level that they're looking for, because they keep holding on to, like, I gotta look at this Netflix instead of going to sleep. So one of the things you can do is first thing in the morning, as soon as you wake up, you want to turn your body on. So uh, you need to go ahead and just grab some water because you've been dehydrated. You haven't, had anything to drink for a good 8 hours. You want to look at the sun. It's better to be out in the sun. If you can go for a walk first thing in the morning while the sun is rising, this is letting your body know that something is supposed to be happening. You're supposed, I'm awake. I'm still alive. If you wake up and you're in a dark room and it stays dark, it's throwing your circadian rhythms off. You're not getting the serotonin, or the melatonin is not forming. All these different chemicals, these different hormones have to be in a rhythm in order for you to have a better night's sleep. Whenever you know, every day I like to get out and do something. So for me, it's like I'll do hit, or I'll lift heavy, or I'll walk. I notice the days that I walk first thing in the morning, just like I did this morning, got my 5 miles in. In the evening, it's a lot easier to go to sleep. That's just the way the body works. So you want to do the things that work with your circadian rhythm. Otherwise, you're going to end up in situations where it's just not working right. You're just not getting the level of fitness that you need. So, um, what else can we talk about here in terms of your understanding what's going on? Um, Insufficient sleep is a huge thing that's especially with people who work the late night shift, because it's daytime. You're trying to sleep during the day. You have other people calling, people other obligations, and, oh, I got to pick up cousin, I got to do this, I have to do that, and it interrupts your sleep. If you're working a if you're working a night shift, you can't allow that to happen, because there are a lot of things that happen, especially when we're talking about testosterone. Your peak testosterone levels coincide with rapid eye movement, the REM. That's that, you sleeping, you just blinking. Yeah. That's when your testosterone is kicking in. And the thing to understand is just an additional hour of sleep elevates your sexual activity by 14%. That's just a study that was done. But we have 30% of workers, that report an average sleep duration of 6 hours, less than 6 hours in the US. And so that's the reason why we have so many different issues in terms of cancer and all of that good stuff that just keeps happening. Um, and if you're doing prolonged late night shift work, it's going to cause even more problems because you're just piling on the different possibilities of diseases. I mean, obviously, we're talking about erection issues and erectile dysfunction, but that's also going along with hypertension, obesity, as I mentioned before, cancer. Uh, all of these things, even blood clots, inflammation, all of these things can happen because you're not getting that right amount of sleep. Um, and we have up to 50% of some professions, such as police, firefighters, transportation drivers, all these folks, they have that night shift work. I mean, we appreciate the work that you do, but get your sleep. I actually said this to a client who, as I mentioned before, the male nurse. I was like, look, bruh, I get it. You're doing what you need to do for your money, but you need to focus in on how can I get away from doing this night shift work. If that means working just a little bit harder so you can become a manager, so you can have somebody else do it, whatever it is, you need to go to a different location, whatever it is you need to do, it's important. It's important that you take care of that part of your life because it can get bad. It can get bad. It can get worse. All right. So we have some other questions in here. We're going to segue just a little bit off of sleep. I hope you got the message. I hope you're going to hop in there and we're going to be wrapping up here at 8:00. After 8:00, turn off your electronics and get ready to go to bed. All right. How to quit porn? That is a great question. In this, I've talked about this before. The issue with porn is that it's turning on your dopamine centers. And so, we're here. The greatest entertainment set is between our legs. So, that's why it's so fun to look at porn and, do what we do. The issue, though, is that you can overflood your dopamine receptors. And that's where you get to the point where it's like you're more interested in looking at porn than you are with dealing with another human, which is not a good thing, because if you keep doing that, you can actually hit a point where you're no longer attracted to a person. It's like trying to have sex with somebody and it's not enough. The dopamine receptors are flooded. They've been flooded. They can't turn back on. And so now human touch doesn't turn you on the way it should. And the reason why I'm telling you this is so you have a reason to do this. I mean, it can get so far to the point where you're just, your brain is wired that way. It can stay that way. So I just want to say something that, there's that difference between men and women in terms of how we deal with sex. For men, it's what I just said, that our dopamine receptors get turned off. For women who have too many sexual partners, their dopamine receptors can get turned off. Their oxytocin receptors can get turned off, and so they can no longer just stay with one guy. So and it's like the same with guys. We look at too much porn, it's like we can no longer get excited by one person. It's deep. This stuff has never happened before in human history, where you could just reach into your pocket and you have whew, hours upon hours upon hours of porn. Oh, I couldn't imagine being in high school right now. That would be, I'd have some issues. And so in terms of how to quit porn, it's there's the cold turkey method. That is going to, obviously help the most. But one of the things that I say is to go with the process of just start using your imagination instead of looking at porn. If you need to relieve yourself, if you will, start using your imagination. And when I say use your imagination on someone that you've been with. I don't know, it's an ex or something like that. What you're trying to do is getting away from the overstimulation of, hey, look, we had 4 people in the room and one of them swinging from a chandelier, all types of crazy stuff. It used to be like a game people would play where they would just type in just weird stuff in the porn and see if it showed up, and it just kept showing up. It's like monkeys, really, zebras. They had zebras in there. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. Also, let me see, we do have a video that does talk about porn, and we get into more of that. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Brian Ayers 23, check me out there. Just type in porn. I'm quite sure that we'll get the information that we'll go into detail. All right, let's move on. King B, you have changed my life. I'm 38 and I've noticed something was not right, and I was at a 7. Now I'm a 9. Woo-hoo-hoo. Congratulations. I love that. I freaking love that. Yes. We need more men like you. Spread that word, man. You're an inspiration. Okay. Uh, perfect. What type of food or herbs prevents active nutrition from leaving the body for male enhancement? Okay. That's a big question right there. One of the things, distilled water. You have to be careful with distilled water because it will actually take minerals out of your body. you sort of have to be careful with water, especially nowadays. Period, just because of all the different things they add in. I actually use zero water, which is the water filter, and it actually does what it says. It takes all the minerals and everything, all the pollutants, but also the minerals out of it. I add in uh, Himalayan pink salt into that, or I just drink it with a tea. Um, Let me see. And what type of food or herbs prevents active nutrients from leaving the body for male enhancement? I'm not sure if that there's something that prevents it. I mean, more or less, you just need to focus in on adding it. We have way too many things that are going to take it away from you. The toxins in our environment, everything from the plastics to the paper to the receipts. Yes, receipts can. We have too many toxins going on there, so it's a matter of adding stuff in to make sure you get it. It's very difficult to. Um, yes, water's like I said, water's the big thing. That's a good question. I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into that. Great. This is the reason why I like doing this, fellas, because we keep getting great questions like this. Uh huh. All right, dope law. Hey, good to see you again there, brother. Oh man, you always rocking with me. Hey, Uncle B, how you doing? I don't eat meat. I took your advice a while ago, and I take African fly. How can I get good protein, and how do you personally get good protein for good muscle recovery smoothies? Yeah. Okay, I do smoothies. I have a video where I talk about doing. I created a maca smoothie. Um, and when it comes to protein, this is always sort of funny to me. All protein comes from plants. Animals are just protein holders. I know people have, I'm not here to get into arguments about that. I'm not a chicken hugger. If ever a time was, there's just me and a cow left on this planet, that cow is dead. But in terms of, plants, the nitrogen, the sunlight, that's just a combination that happens that makes protein. So it gets confusing because you go to a restaurant, you order a salad, and they'll say, "What type of protein do you want?" It's like the protein that's already in there. So if it depends, also depends on what you're looking to do. If you're trying to do massive, weight gain, you're trying to, buff up with trying to be like a bodybuilder or something like that. That's a different lane. If you're just trying to be, because there even with that, there are people who are just plant based, and it's just fine. So if you're looking to do really intensified, then yes, getting a smoothie, a green smoothie would help. You don't want to go too hard. Whenever I do smoothies, I'll have like the cucumbers, I'll have spinach, I'll have as many green things in it as possible. Then I'll throw in like a banana or blueberries or something like that. The idea just being that you want to uh, you know if weight is an issue, then you want to stay on the greener side. If you're trying to pick up more weight, then you can go with more of the fruits in there. You still want to get the vegetables in there. And so what I also do is when I'm drinking a smoothie, making a smoothie, if I have my greens and everything like that I'm eating, no, that's what I'm saying. When I'm adding in the greens, I'll actually eat some of the greens. If I'm adding in cucumbers, I'll actually eat a cucumber because you still need the whole fiber. When you're putting fruits and vegetables into a blender, and let me be very clear. When I talk about juicing, I'm not talking about the ones that take all the pulp out, that take all the fiber out. You don't want to do that. That's not healthy for you. You're actually just taking all the fiber out and you're leaving behind the sugar. Whenever you're eating a fruit, it is the fiber that balances out that sugar. That's what you want. So a blender, I have uh, I forgot what the name of it is, but I just got one for Christmas, and I love the thing. You just go ahead and you take your fruits and vegetables, put it in there, and that's how you're getting that. There's also different plant based powders that you can add in there. I like to add in, pine pollen, maca, different powders that I have that are just good for your sexual health. Uh, so yeah, those are great for your recovery. Do not go with the pre workouts and the post workouts. I'm not sure why. One, they make them sweet, as I don't know what, because they know that you'll get you addicted to it. But yeah, you can just eat the plants. It's so much better. Hope that answered your question, dope law. Appreciate you for rocking with me. All right. Hmm. All right. SNS Fishing South Shores Bell. How long does good wood take to be effective? I've purchased 4 bottles now. Been taking it for almost 2 months. We need a lot more information there, sir. Because if you've been taking good wood for 2 months and it hasn't been effective for you, then there's something else that's going on. The thing I always say is that it is a supplement. It's supposed to supplement the other things that you do. And so that's the reason why we talk about ECS 25, because you could literally just follow your patterns, the way that you got to the situation that you're in, unless there was some type of other chemical situation. I've had guys who took steroids when they were younger and they just don't get erections anymore. I've had guys who took some medication and it just blew out their endocrine system, and so they have issues. If you are in a situation where you're taking good wood, you're taking and it's not working for you, the question is really, what is the patterns? What are the things that you do on the regular basis? So one of the things I didn't show out of that the coaching session that I did earlier was that's what we started walking through, is like, what are your patterns? So, what are you eating during the day? Are you doing it? Are you doing intermittent fasting? How is your sleep going? How are your exercise? Are you overtraining? Are you not training at all of these things play a big factor. So um let me see, I'm gonna make sure that we get a link to my a link so you can get a coaching session with me. Let me go ahead and put that down in the description, because it's really important that, let me see, what is that? Trying to remember where I have this link at. It's really important that you're paying attention to all of these things. I was mentioning this earlier. If you're missing out on uh, any of these steps, it's not going to matter. Let me say it's not going to matter. It's going to be a good thing that you are actually doing the right things. But when it comes down to it, you need to be able to. I see you against all odds media. That link that I just put into the chat, go ahead and click that link. That'll put you onto my calendar. You'll get an email with a quiz. That quiz is just basically going to help you figure out where you are on the sexual performance scale. And that way, when we get on a call, I can dive in immediately. We can start rocking and rolling, seeing what works best for us. Okay. Um, but yeah. I love doing this coaching session stuff. Like I said before, I learned great things, and I want to hear from you. Uh, mm, see, okay, great questions coming in. Is it? Is it? Is it? Hope I'm saying your name right, bruh. What foods keep you away? Uh, what foods keep you away from stress at work? Um, One of the things. Let me see. Lemon balm tea. Um, I get the actual loose leaf lemon balm tea that actually lowers your cortisol. You're looking for foods that will lower your cortisol, and basically, almost any plant-based food is going to do things to calm your body down. And there's other things that you can look at in terms of your breathing patterns and just meditating. Those things are the type of things that'll keep you straight. I'm going to be releasing a video soon that talks about an actual pattern that I have in terms of working out and doing stuff during the day. Basically, every 25 minutes, I stand up, run in place as fast as possible for 25 seconds, drink some water, and meditate for 5 minutes. That's all. I do all that in 5 minutes. Reset your body every half an hour. It's a great thing to do while you're at work. Um, it may seem funny. It's like, why is he running in place so fast? It's because you want to stay healthy. Uh-huh. Hmm. How does cost of fried chicken in USA? I'm not sure what you're asking there, sir. Uh, against all odds, me that I have ED, and also doctor said it comes from diabetes. Help, yeah. Go ahead, hit that link. So doctor said it comes from diabetes. Yeah. So basically, what ends up happening is for over 50% of men with type 2 diabetes, they have low testosterone. And please understand that diabetes, one of the main causes of diabetes is meat consumption. So what ends up happening is you consume meat Anything else you consume, it can just, your body already knows what to do. It can just move it through. Once you're consuming meat, the inner lining, the endothelia, gets clogged. And so what's supposed to happen was is that as blood is going through, glucose is going through, it's supposed to go through the membranes of the blood cell into the rest of the body, the blood vessels, to the rest of the body. When it can't do that, the glucose stays inside there. It doesn't have any place to release and go to, and so you end up with, a whole bunch of sugar in your body, which is going to cause problems. It's sort of like having, a super highway of, just cars just randomly going through and just beating each other up because they're not going where they're supposed to do. It's just drunk drivers all throughout your body. Just a way to look at it. But so what you want to do is lower your meat consumption and fasting. Dr. Jason Fung, you can look him up on YouTube. He talks about that. He specializes in fasting, medical fasting, and basically, he has people he's healed in a month. I have a technique. It's not proven, but as a person who took the technique I was just talking about in terms of, like, running in place, that basically changed your metabolism. There's a lot of science behind it, but basically because it changed her metabolism, she went from being on diabetes medication to getting off the diabetes medication in a very short period of time. I'm not, not this isn't scientifically proven, but anecdotal. It worked. It worked for her. So, but yeah, when it comes to diabetes, what people often do is they say, okay, you have to stay away from sugar, but they don't tell you to stay away from meat. And in fact, the American Diabetes Association, which is sponsored by the meat, a lot of meat producers, they don't say anything about meat at all. In fact, when you look at their ingredients list, they actually promote meat consumption. Surprise. And so what ends up happening is that you keep having diabetes. They stay in business. The pharmaceutical company stays in business. In fact, it's such a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle because we know that meat helps to cause the diabetes. What also in the pharmaceutical industry is like getting money from people having diabetes. What does the pharmaceuticals industry also sell? They sell antibiotics to the animals. So that's one of the biggest purchasers of antibiotics in America is to to the farms, because especially industrial farmers, because by law you have to have all these antibiotics in the animal because the way that they're raised and just the fact that they're animals, you have to keep them disease free. So they're not only selling to the animals that cause the things that give you the diabetes, they're selling the diabetes medication. It's insane. All right. Say Justin West asked, what about fish? Well, fish is it's a cure-all word. It's sort of like when you say animal. It can mean, animal means a giraffe. Fish means anything from, anything in this freaking sea almost to a point, other than the hard shells. We have the all the way to tilapia to, nowadays, salmon and tilapia are made in farms. They have fish farms and they have a lot of antibiotics because we take a lot of fish and put them to one area, they poop, they excrement and everything, and they're swimming around in it. They don't have the natural filters that that is just a part of the ocean, just part of what's happening in the ocean in terms of like cleaning all this stuff out. So yeah, when it comes to anything that moves, that used to move, you have to kill it in order to eat it. That's not good for you. That's just the way it is. And especially now with the oceans that you have a lot of it's not lead. I forget which particular toxin, but there's a lot of toxins in the water. So you want to be very careful with that. Money Maker Marvin, yes, that's Jason Funk. Okay, how to get morning wood back. All right, morning wood. That's a uh, That's a 10 out of 10 on the sexual performance scale. So once again, the sexual performance scale of 1 to 10. 10 means everything works. 5, 6, 7 is you're unreliable. 1, 2, 3, 4 means you're in ED land. When we're talking about 8, 9, or 10, 8 is erections on demand. A 9 is spontaneous erections, and a 10 is morning erections, which is to a point spontaneous erections. But what is actually happening, and this actually perfect question, this ties back into sleep. The morning erection during the night, you have 4 to 5 erections. The actual fifth erection, that's your morning erection. So that's your body's, I guess, you call it a systems check. You're having a systems check in terms of your body, like, hey, we're going to move blood into your penis, make sure everything's cool. That's also a part of your testosterone is revving up, it's working. And, we're just testing it while you're asleep. The issue comes up when you have bad sleep. And also, one of the other things, getting back to diabetes, when you're eating meat, it actually slows down the blood flow to your penis. Well, it slows down the blood flow, period. But doing those 4 to 5 erections, they've done studies when they've showed if you're consuming meat at night, your erections are going to be smaller and they're not going to last as long. So this translates into your day. So that's what you need to look at when it comes to getting your morning wood. So, hey guys, we're coming up to the hour. I want to thank you for hopping on with me. This has been an amazing, journey. I love doing this. Please, we do have that Calendly link in the comment section. If you want to get a free 15-minute session with me, please do that. Of course, please go to givegoodwood.com if you want to get a great product. We also, of course, it comes with the ECS 25 program. We have this 7-course video that basically breaks down everything I talked about into one session. Yeah, that's pretty dope. That is a nice pic. That's a nice painting. That is a nice painting. So we got the new set going on here and everything like that. So yeah, I appreciate everybody for hopping on. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw it in for the last question of the day. Otherwise, I'm just going to say this, guys, you have to be on your game. You have to get this going. If you have any issues right now, these are the stats. 40% of men over 40 have erection issues. 50% of men over 50 have erection issues. 60% of men over 60 have erection issues. 70% of men over 70, and so on. Makes sense. You don't see too many 80-year-olds running around with raging hard-ons. But you can do that. You can get to a point. From a man who was talking about, having ED and needing to go under the knife, please look for, because that's a permanent thing. Please look for as many alternatives as possible. The alternative is actually to change your patterns. Like I said, unless there's been a chemical issue, and even that is something that you can overcome. It's a lot more difficult, but I've seen guys do it. It's really important. We've had guys who had steroids who were able to overcome that. So yeah, there we go. Unless there's any other questions, I appreciate you. Look out for a video coming out. We do video every other Thursday now, but I will be coming back on. We're doing a lot more lives. I will go ahead and get that. Use that suggestion. We're going to get a call-in number, so you can call in and we can go ahead and have a conversation. Love it, fellas. And this is Brian, aka Uncle B, saying, get your game up and go hard. Peace out. Oh, getting old sucks. Sexual performance anxiety. Oh, that's a good one. I do have a video on that. Check out the channel, YouTube, Brian Ayers, AYERS 23. And hop on. We're going to be back on soon. Look out for a video. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel. You get notifications. All right, guys. Have a great evening. Take care of yourself. Peace out.